In our first episode, we diagnosed the friendly parasite, the story of a government that became our master. But a master does not rule by declaration alone. It rules through a system, a structure, an architecture of control so pervasive it becomes the very air we breathe. It doesn't need to say no. It has built a maze where the word yes is a phantom you can chase until the end of your days. This is not the story of lazy clerks or inefficient offices. This is the fairy tale we're told to explain the monster. This is a story of the weaponized bureaucracy. It's a system meticulously designed not to serve, but to dissolve. To dissolve your will, your time, your resources, and ultimately, your power. It is the cancer's first line of defense, and it's the most effective tool for breaking you. To understand this mutation in the cancer, we must see it not as incompetence, but as a form of highly refined, passive-aggressive warfare against the individual. Its primary weapon is friction. Imagine you have a right, a simple, clear, legitimate right. Perhaps it's a permit to build a shed on your own property, a license to start a small business, a benefit you are legally entitled to after a lifetime of work. In a system designed for you, the path to exercising that right would be clear, simple, and direct. But in weaponized bureaucracy, the moment you step forward to claim what is yours, you enter a labyrinth. The walls of this labyrinth are made of forms that ask for the same information in slightly different ways, that use arcane language, that contradict one another. The corridors are phone trees that lead to dead ends, automated messages that disconnect you after 20 minutes on hold, and websites that crash when you try to submit your application. This is not an accident. This is policy. The goal is to make the process of claiming your right more costly in time, in money, in mental energy than the value of the right itself. Let's take a real-world example. Challenging a property tax assessment. You know you're being overcharged. The process to appeal involves a 15-page form, a hearing before a board that meets only on the third Tuesday of the month, and a requirement to submit comparable property data that is only available in a physical binder at a single government office during business hours. For the sake of maybe saving a few $100s a year, you are being asked to sacrifice days of your life. Most people, the system knows, will simply give up. They will pay their extra tax. The bureaucracy has won. It has successfully taxed your time and your peace of mind, and it has taught you a powerful lesson. Don't bother. This is how it dissolves our power. It doesn't seize it in grand gesture. It evaporates it drop by drop through 1,000 tiny soul-crushing inconveniences. And so, we arrive once more at the haunting question that echoes through this series. Faced with a system that is so obviously, painstakingly designed to frustrate us. And the question is, why do we allow it to continue? Why do we allow this to continue? It makes no sense. We allow it first because of a brilliantly implanted meme, the assumption of complexity. We have been conditioned to believe that running a society of millions is inherently, unavoidably complicated. Therefore, the labyrinthine bureaucracy must be a necessary evil, a byproduct of a complex world. We blame ourselves. I guess I'm just not smart enough to understand the tax code. We say, no, the tax code is not complex because the topic of taxation is hard. It is complex to create loopholes for the powerful and confusion for you. We mistake designed complexity for necessary complexity, and in doing so, we forgive our oppressors. Second, we allow it because it inculcates learned helplessness. This is a well-documented psychological phenomenon. When a subject perceives that its actions have no effect on its outcomes, it eventually stops acting. After being beaten down by the system a few times, after your permit is denied for a trivial, nonsensical reason, after you spend your entire day at the DMV only to be told you're missing one document, the brain learns that effort is futile. You stop trying to fight the parking ticket. You stop applying for that business license. You accept the denial. This is the cancer successfully suppressing the social immune system. It has trained us not to fight back. But the most insidious reason we allow it is that we can call the Stockholm Syndrome of the system. We begin to identify with the very structure that holds us captive. We defend its complexity as a sign of sophistication. We attack those who complain about it as impatient or unwilling to follow the rules. We take a perverse pride in navigating its convoluted pathways as if surviving a gauntlet is a mark of honor, rather than a sign that the gauntlet should never have existed in the first place. We have fallen in love with our own cage. The way out, then, is not to try and beat the maze. The way out is to refuse to enter it. This is the core of our peaceful abandonment. The first step is a radical shift in perception. Recognize that the bureaucracy has no legitimate authority over our life. Its power is a phantom, sustained entirely by our belief and our participation. The forms, the rules, the procedures, they're just all paper. They only have power because we agree to stand in line and fill them out. The second step is to systematically starve it of our engagement. This is the dry fast applied directly to the bureaucratic tumor. Wherever possible, disengage. Do not ask for permission for things that are your natural right. If you want to build a small structure on your land, build it. If you want to sell food to your neighbors, sell it. Prioritize forgiveness over permission. Seek out and support parallel, non-governmental systems for dispute resolution, for community support, and for trade. Every transaction you complete, every problem you solve, without involving the bureaucracy, is a vote for a new world and a starvation of the old. The third step, for when you have no choice but to engage, is to weaponize their own tools against them. Become relentlessly, impeccably procedural. Record every phone call. Keep every email. Demand every communication in writing. File requests for public records. If they hide behind rules, use those same rules to bury them in paperwork. Your goal in this engagement is not to win within their system, but to expose the absurdity of the system itself. Be the grain of sand that grinds the gears to a halt, forcing them to reveal the violence that ultimately underpins their neutral administration. And finally, build the alternative. This is the most powerful form of abandonment. Create local councils that handle local issues without state interference. Develop community land trusts that operate outside the speculative market. The more we can render the centralized bureaucracy irrelevant to our daily lives, the more it will shrivel and die, exposed as the useless parasite it truly is. The weaponized bureaucracy relies on our belief that we need its stamp of approval to live our life. The moment you realize you don't, the fog begins to clear. You are not a subject begging for a permit. You are a sovereign individual. We have now seen how the parasite feeds and how it defends itself. But how did it grow so strong? Where did it get the resources to build this fortress? In our next episode, we will follow the money. We will expose the legal bribe, the financial bloodstream that feeds this entire cancerous growth, and we will learn how to tourniquet that flow for good.